Jane M. McCabe, owner of the End of Times Gallery in Taft, California, has been painting and writing her entire life. She received a bachelor's degree in fine art from the University of Washington in Seattle. During graduate school at the San Francisco Art Institute, where she received a master's degree in painting, she did her first religious painting called The Apocalypse. The painting just happened, she says. She also refers to it as the Flying Chicken Painting. After traveling to the Middle East, for 3 years she studied theology at Luther Seminary in St. Paul, Minnesota, in the Masters of Divinity program. Jane has written and illustrated a number of children's books, notably The Little Blue Lamb by Wayne Maxwell, and The Remarkable Story of the Very First Flower. In New York City, during the 1990s, she painted The Last Supper and The Rapture. A couple of years later, she painted The Annunciation.
Inspiration for the altarpiece came from the Ghent altarpiece, the Adoration of the Mystic Lamb, completed in 1432. Joost Vidde, a wealthy merchant and financier, commissioned Hubert van Eyck to paint this work for his and his wife's private chapel. When Hubert died in 1426, while the work was underway, it was completed by his younger brother, Jan van Eyck. The altarpiece represented a new concept in art, in which idealization gives way to exact observation. Biblical references in the altarpiece come mainly from the 5th chapter of the book of Revelation, in which John sees a large scroll with 7 seals on it. An angel proclaims in a loud voice, "Who is worthy to break the seals and open the scroll?" John weeps because he thinks there is no one worthy to break the seals. But then one of the elders tells him, "Do not weep. See, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed. He is able to open the scroll and its 7 seals." Then John sees a lamb looking as if it had been slain, standing in the center of the throne, encircled by 4 living creatures and 24 elders. The elders sing, "Worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and wealth and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and praise."
The center of the Taft altarpiece is the Lamb of God, and all of the other pieces revolve around it. The Lamb of God holds in his right front leg a scroll, and the scroll has 7 seals on it. This is the scroll that only the Lamb of God is worthy to open. The Lamb of God, of course, is a reference to Jesus Christ, the Lamb that was slain. So we see the Lamb of God holding the scroll with the 7 seals, and he is surrounded by elders. The book of Revelation, the 5th chapter, says there's 24 elders, and he's surrounded by the elders who have gold crowns, some of them, and they're holding golden bowls of incense. These are the elect who have come through the different centuries. The hands that are to the left and to the right, each of those are the hands of angels, and they are holding the incense holders and swinging them and the smoke is coming out of the incense holders. Moving then to the left, we have what I call the Martha panel. Martha is the name of the lady who modeled for this. I knew that I wanted a woman wearing a navy blue robe, and it turned out that I had such an item in my wardrobe. So she's wearing this blue robe, holding a yellow fan with a dog on her lap. The Martha panel doesn't represent the Virgin Mary. She represents women the world over who are pure of heart and who ponder things in their heart. Moving over here then, we have the Joshua panel. Here again, the panel is named because the young man who modeled for this panel, his name is Joshua. There's a little story that goes with this one. At first I was going to look for a middle-aged man who would symbolize a wise man. After thought, I decided that I wanted a young man for the male panel, a young man who was yet uncorrupted by the world. I envisioned him wearing a white cowboy hat, a blue shirt, Levi's, and cowboy boots. Within a day or so, a man dressed exactly as I envisioned walked past the gallery. So he agreed to model for me, and his name is Joshua. And we took some photographs, and I painted him with his arm around the Palomino filly. So this is the Joshua panel. Above the Lamb of God, we have a double panel, which I call the music panels. The music panels serve as a visual transition to the judgment panel at the top. The organ pipes are organ pipes that might be seen in a modern church, but I've inserted a musician playing an organ in a cathedral in the corner. The feeling that and wanting to put in a music panel is because I believe that holy music is close to the heart of God. Moving up then to the top, we have what I call the judgment panel. We have the busts of three figures. The center figure with the red robe is Jesus Christ, and he is present to judge the living and the dead. And I've taken the liberty of giving him a haircut. The archangel to the left is unidentified, but she's holding a winnowing fork. This is because the judgment panel represents the last day and the judgment, and the winnowing fork will be used to separate the wheat from the shaft. That reference is in the New Testament. To Jesus's, well, actually to the right, facing Jesus, is another archangel, and this is Gabriel, but I again have taken the liberty of putting him in a business suit with a modern haircut. In his left hand, he holds a sword, and he will be helping with the process of separating on Judgment Day, separating the saved from the unsaved. The four panels, the four square panels of the lion, the eagle, the calf, and the centaurus, or the animal with a human face, these animals are mentioned in the 5th chapter of the book of Revelation. There's no indication as to what they symbolize, but I put them in because they're mentioned, and these are the animal panels. The 3 panels below the Lamb of God I call the offering panels, because these are the gifts that have been brought to the Lamb. The one to the left of the bottle of wine and the bread represents the bread and the wine as celebrated in communion. The central panel represents beauty. The inspiration, the reason I wanted to paint the irises is because in the Portinari altarpiece by Hugo van der Goes, I believe was painted in 1476, there is a beautiful vase of irises that have been set in front of the baby Jesus. But this is the beauty panel. The panel to the right then is the knowledge panel, the panel with the globe and the book and the candle. This represents all knowledge. All 3 of the offering panels are in praise of the Lamb. The hollyhock panels to the left and to the right are decorative. All of the panels in the altarpiece revolve around the Lamb of God. They almost seem like they're in motion. If the Ghent altarpiece, painted in the 15th century, was a new concept in art representing greater realism, it's my hope that the Taft altarpiece will give modern people a new way to enjoy biblical art.